Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 126 of the Go Get That podcast. We're previewing the Memorial Tournament, a very special event. My heart, Team Blute will be out there this week. I will not be. I'll be resting my old man legs for the next 2 weeks, but who knows? Maybe my brother can get some inside scoops for me. I'll tweet them out if they do, but it's a very special event for me. It's one of my favorite events. I'm sure it's one of all of our favorite events on the calendar. It's a great golf course. Usually plays fairly tough. So yeah, it's a place that Mr. Spieth plays pretty well at. We're hoping that this week is the turning point in the season. I got a few DMs about the title of our recent episode. So
Really?
hopefully, yes.
What did they say? Did they disagree or did they agree?
Well, I just
Were they unhappy with it?
no, well, they're alpha males, most of them. They agreed. They were just laughing at it, which as they should. They have the right to. They have the right to, it's a laughable season so far, so they have a right to laugh at it for sure. But I thought the title was accurate, so I'm not complaining. But who knows? Maybe this is the turning point. Even in his bad points, he's usually found a pretty good finish here, whether it was competitive or not. So I'm just looking for good golf this week. I have a pretty busy weekend, a lot of preparation stuff I've got to do. So I don't know how much of the golf I will watch, unfortunately. But obviously there's a lot of golf to be watched next week. But yeah, it was a late commitment. He commits late here every year. I'm not sure why people were going crazy about it. I heard something from someone about something that maybe made it a little more likely, but still I don't see why he ever would have committed to the Travelers if he wasn't going to play here. So I think the only reason he wouldn't play here was if there was something going on with the wrist, and he wouldn't have committed to the Travelers if that was the case. So yeah, so we're here.
We are here. Well
Yes.
said.
I'm
here.
excited. Sorry.
No, I'm excited too. It's a fun golf course. Kind of without the form, it just makes it, a much more fun watch when, the course that's out there is, fun to watch. I mean, you got 4 par 5s, really good par 5s. I guess as a fan, it gives you some optimism. He hits a fairway or, got the blood's rushing a little bit. Can we, make a good score on the hole? Something he hasn't really done a good job of lately. But yeah, hasn't been playing well, but it's, kind of is balanced by the quality of golf course.
Sure, yes.
Yeah, I think Dan's obviously the most optimistic of the 3 of us, but he's good enough to, pop, we hope.
More than good.
Well,
It shall be a pop this week.
it could be.
I don't want to go as far as the Charles Barkley guarantee or even the Bob Blute guarantee. Because it's hard to guarantee anything with Jordan Spieth. But I will go with the 99% sure it is a good week this week. And if it's not a good week this week, then I don't know what to tell you. This is just a lost season. But I really did. You can kind of find some good things in the previous 3 weeks. And I think hopefully a week off with the wrists not acting up and making some fun YouTube videos with his coach should have helped the golf game. So no, in all seriousness, I think more commitment to a draw with the irons, continuation of what we've seen with the driver will give you an advantage out here. It's important to hit fairways. It's going to play tough this week. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, which is a little disappointing, but I live kind of in the Midwest here, and it's been pretty dry so far this summer, and then the wind's going to blow. It's going to be a little bit cooler. and the wind's gonna blow, but the sun will be out. So by Sunday, it should be a pretty tough test. I think if you can get to 12, you feel really, really good about yourself. Um, Obviously one of the better fields because it is the signature event. It's Jack's event. I believe there's a cut
There's
this
a cut?
week. Top 50 and ties, correct? And then you have to
One of those
or inside of
embarrassing
10.
cuts.
Yeah. So if it's
It,
a
it,
miscut,
it
that would
can't be a miscut.
No, it simply can't. We're not even gonna throw that out there.
Yeah,
Because I think it'll.
Yeah, so like Scotty Scheffler on DraftKings currently has a 100% chance to make the cut.
That's accurate, yeah.
So that's where our mind needs to be for Actually, let's see where Mr. Kings gives. Let's see
High
what
80s
Mr.
would be my
Kings gives
guess.
Spieths.
High 80s.
No, it's got to be low 90s at least.
All right,
In the
fine,
Dan
low
camp.
90s.
Oh, that's not good.
What's the number?
66%.
All right,
Oh,
that's too
no.
low. That's
Oh,
too
no.
low.
Wow.
Some of the names in this field are just dreadful.
Yeah, it's
I'll be honest, if
Top
you
heavy.
handed me a minus 250 odds on speed to make the cut, that's probably a bet.
Heck yeah. No,
I
agreed.
don't think those odds do it justice. For how he plays this course, I don't know. Yeah. There's some interesting numbers though here, just because like it's funny, like all the bad names. Like I mean, Pearson Cootie has a 46% chance. We really think it's a 20% difference. I don't know.
Pearson Cootie's
But-
in the field.
Yes, yes.
It's an interesting field. It's actually so top 50 in ties, and there's 73 players.
When did Cootie get?
Oh.
It's essentially a Masters cut, really, because 15 of the players have no chance to make the cut at the Masters. So
Yeah.
it's
So
essentially the same
and it-
thing.
yeah,
Speak
it's funny
this
because Davis Thompson is by himself
Ceremonial golfers.
and a marker for the first 2 days, which is kind of
Congrats.
they couldn't just get one more name in the field to have even.
Congrats to
pairing,
that marker. That's sick.
but,
They should
yeah,
let him play.
yeah, I think it might be Mr. Nicholas. No, just kidding.
Is Cootie really in the field? I can't even find them.
Yes. Well, it has him on DraftKings, so I'm going to go with.
I think D Kings might be around. Hold on. I'm looking at the data golf field. I don't see him on there.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think
That
Cootie's
is
in the field.
interesting.
Unless he just got in as of like an hour ago.
Well, it has him.
Snedeker's in the field.
Nope.
Yes.
He has
Mr.
no tee
Snedeker.
time next to his name, so I don't even know why he's on this list.
Maybe he's the marker.
Him and Mr. Messner
Yeah, they got
are currently
booted.
listed as above 45% to make the cut, but have no tee time next to their name.
They I think they're alternates.
Nice.
In
Going
theory.
from Kings.
I mean, Snedeker's missed 3 straight cuts. He's in the field.
Yes. Yes.
Snedeker, yes. But Snedeker got a haircut. It might be worth the top 40 bet or something.
Yes. Yes, he did get a haircut. That's very
that's
true.
It was quite the haircut from Grant.
But I will say, wind will be up Thursday, Friday, which
It's gonna be tough.
yeah, I think the leaderboard will kind of space itself. Like I don't think that 10 shot thing will come into play because I think somebody's gonna get to 8 or 9. And it's very
Yeah, I mean,
possible
that's
that you could
fair.
also go to +6 or 7, just given it's a tough course. It's probably going to be pretty firm. And if the wind's blowing 15, 20 Thursday, Friday, that makes it,
Yeah.
pretty difficult.
Actually,
which is good.
I have a take on the course that I don't think Ryan's gonna like. I think you can make a case it's an underrated golf course because it routinely it's like Augusta where you have
Ryan won't enjoy that.
you have 4 par 5s and it's still
Great par
routinely
fives.
routinely plays over par. I mean, that's tough in the modern game because most US Opens, PGAs are par 70s, maybe 71. This is a par
Mhm.
72 and it routinely plays over par, which really speaks to how tough it is.
Yeah, they're good par fives too. I don't really know where Mr. Schlaber's mind's at, but I mean,
On the Masters.
Yeah.
well, we hope he'll need it for sure. But yeah, I don't know what that take was. That was pretty abysmal from him. One of his worst, I'd say.
There's a large
Yeah.
collection of them too.
You mentioned the
There
par
is a large
fives.
collection.
Number 5, I think, is interesting because it is less than driver off the tee, which I don't have too much of a problem with.
think it's
because it's still wood 3, but I think it's a little bit I don't know. It's just interesting that less than driver,
I personally like
par
the old
5.
5 better, but that's
Old
just me.
5.
Well, they changed it significantly.
Oh, I thought they changed 15. That was the par 5 change
Nope,
a
they
while
changed
ago.
5 too.
Because doesn't 5 has like the river or creek kind of running through
Yep.
it along
Yeah.
with 11.
Yep. Let me see. Let me see the comparatives.
But
I
regardless,
like
Jordan,
5.
did you make a model for this week?
I did.
What's important? What courses kind of match it?
Yeah, they moved the green over
I can give you my
significantly.
Sorry.
top the course. The only course comp I used was Memorial because we have like a lot of history here.
Gotcha.
So like for like next week PGA, like I used like comps, but we don't really need like a comp, I guess.
Well,
I
but
can give you
what
appro
statistical categories are important?
approach to the max.
Okay.
Particularly one
Hmm.
50 to 175, 175 to 200, and then obviously with the par fives you'll have lumber. So I guess how you
Yeah.
hit your lumber.
Yeah.
No,
Bodes well
it's
for Jay Spieth.
approach.
Mm.
One thing I found that distance is kind of overrated here, at least in my opinion.
It's good.
Accuracy is more important than distance here, in my respectful opinion. And then obviously short game here when it gets firm and fast. You gotta have a good short game. And with all that, Mr. Spieth is 20th in my model.
Could be
this week.
worse.
Yeah, I think 20 is well, is he the 20th best golfer in the field this week?
No,
I think that's yeah. I mean, you could argue for lower,
No.
but yeah. Scotty 1, Morikawa 2, Xander 3, Russell Henley 4.
Yeah.
His win equity is obviously a lot lower than that, but I mean, he's very consistent.
He's been playing awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 8th in the data golf rankings. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's
I was
kind of
looking
due
at
for a pop week where he does win.
I agree. I was
Yeah.
looking at him for the triple double, but I think just because it's a big event and the purse is so high, you need a little bit more win equity.
Yeah.
yeah, like
One thought about Morikawa really quickly. Wind blows, he does not play well. I am eliminating him. He might miss the cut. That would, if you want a big miscut bet, just throw a few coins on it. That'd be the guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not picking one this week.
I don't hate that pick at all, Dan. That's a good pick.
JT's
you.
6 in my model.
Mr. Thomas going to the blade putter as well this week.
He's lurking.
Sources.
He's playing better.
He is playing better, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Bob, where did the 5 green go? Is it moved to the right or the left?
It's moved to left. So like the water, it's not new. It's like 2-3 years old. It was in the same year as the restoration for the 15th.
Gotcha. Okay. But it's further left.
It's further left. So now the water is way more in play.
Yeah.
Like you have to hit over the water to go on the green before you could kind of like there's not really like a bailout right anymore. Yeah. Yeah. If you look here, I'll send an image in the chat on Twitter. So here's the new one. The old one was like this. So it's less of a river and more of a like pond in front now. So it's like, so you have to like carry water before you could bail out right. And the fairways kind of changed a bit too. There's not really 2 fairways. It's more 1, 2, 3. It's more 3 fairways now, not 2.
Yeah.
But the old one, you could kind of bomb it down the right and take a chance that you hit a tree and get stuck on a horrible lie. But you'd also have 180 yards in.
Yeah.
So you could use to hit driver and take a chance over there, which I thought was pretty cool. Because also, if you hit it too well, you could go through the fairway into the water. So I thought there was a lot more decision off the tee. Now it's just sort of an
done that
ironer.
before, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he ended up in the rough and probably made big number. I remember him getting stuck up in that one tree multiple times.
I vividly remember him hitting driver off the tee into the water as well, right?
That's not a shock to me at all.
Yeah.
I think
It's a good hole. I like
Bryson
the
took
hole.
on that line.
It's
a
great.
lot
It's a good
too.
hole, but I like the old one better. I like it when there was a
Fair.
lot more decision off the tee. There's no decision off the tee anymore. It's an iron. Or
Yeah.
it's an iron or a 3-wood or depending on the wind. But it's a layup regardless.
No, it's a hard fairway to hit, but you're taking less club. It's kind of how it
Yeah.
should be. I like it the way it is. Good golf course. Really good golf course. I
There's
used
some
to hold
great
the.
golf
I think
courses.
we used to probably 2 years ago. I was of the belief that I said Riviera was better. I don't think I agree with that anymore.
Yeah.
I think I like
I
this
think
type of
that
golf. I don't like West Coast golf as much as. I mean,
agree.
Ohio's not East Coast, but it's East Coast type of course, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there are some great holes here. I assume they'll make 14 drivable again one of the days. That's a really cool hole when it's drivable. It's a pretty. I personally think it would be a better hole always drivable. I think it's just a. I don't think the water's really in play when it's just an iron off the tee and
No.
a wedge in. I think it's a pretty. I think it's a cool looking hole, but it's not much to. I think it's a drivable hole. It's a really interesting. Because even if you're left, you're screwed.
Certain
it's so
players can
firm.
find the water with a wedge.
Well, I'm talking about the normal average PGA Tour player. The Cooties and the Snedekers of the world who aren't going to find the water with the wedge. That's more who I'm referring to. But I still think it's a cool hole when it's drivable, so I'd like to see them do it maybe both days on the weekend. That would be cool. Like just a birdie hole the first 2 days where it's just wedge in, wedge in, wedge in.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, there's some decision making because that 14, 15, 16 stretch is super cool.
Yeah.
That a lot of shots can change in that stretch if that hole's drivable. So yeah.
Yeah, 16's a challenging par 3 back over the water.
Yeah, it's not as hard as it used to be.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say there used to be that iconic kind of front left pin that
Yeah.
if you made 3, you were very happy because 5 was very much in play.
yeah, and Phil Mickelson laid up
Yeah, I was gonna say
for chilling.
crazy.
Do we think it can play as hard this year as it did last year?
What did it play last
I
year?
don't really know what the conditions are looking like, to be frank.
Very far. It played a 73.54 for the week.
Oh.
So 1.54 over. And then Sunday, as we obviously remember, was
it was a full field last year, right?
Yes, that's a very good point.
So I'm gonna think it plays a tiny bit easier than that.
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
you had Chad Ramey shooting 88 on Thursday, or throwing up an 84.
Yeah. It'll be hard. The wind's gonna blow. It should be pretty firm regardless of the rain. At least especially come the weekend. I think it'll be entertaining. Like this will be you'll get really good players at the top of the board come Saturday and Sunday. And
Tom Hoagie was 18 over on the weekend last year.
wow. That's impressive. I think last year Scotty gained 20 shots from tee to green.
And lost. Yep.
And lost.
Shocker.
Shocking.
Crazy.
God, he's so good. Oh, it's gonna be. I cannot wait to watch him next week in person. It's gonna be sick.
It'll be interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well,
But,
we'll have the chance to watch him on the weekends. We won't have many plans.
don't go there. Don't go there. Be optimistic. I'm gonna be like Dan. We're gonna get good play this week. We're gonna.
I agree. Hey, listen, I'm
thrust
gonna
to
be the
North
most
Carolina.
optimistic fan in the world next week because that's how I always am when I go. Because I see him hit good golf shots in the range, even though I have no clue where he's aiming. But I'm just so mesmerized by the ball flight that I'm thinking he's winning the golf tournament after I see one range session. So on Wednesday night, I will have probably $100 on him to win the golf tournament.
No, it
just
seems
by what I
responsible.
saw, which is very irresponsible. I don't recommend it at all. That's a huge disclaimer. Do not do that. But I do think that it'll be every time it happens. Like at the Memorial, I thought he was winning. I mean, at the Waste Management, I thought he was winning, because of how he played in the Pro-Am. So
He played well that week.
He did.
It's weird, man. Because I was at the BMW a couple of years ago. He played pretty poorly in the Pro-Am, and what he was he led through 36 holes. So it's kind of interesting how that whole dynamic works out. I think he's alluded to it sometimes. It's sometimes at the bad range sessions lead to really good scores, and it's vice versa. Kind of interesting.
There's no pro-ams at the majors, right?
No,
So what is Wednesday? Just range sessions?
practice day.
Yes.
There's like a
Range
tee
sessions,
sheet
2 guys
typically.
on the course. Yeah,
Yeah. Spieth will play Wednesday. 9.
probably not. Yeah.
Um, Tuesday I'll play 9. Monday.
I'd hope Spieth played Wednesday.
No, he'll play
Spieth
Wednesday.
would play Wednesday. Yeah.
Maybe plays if he misses the cut this week. Probably I'll play 9 on Monday
Yeah.
or Sunday when he gets in early. But we won't miss the cut this week. So
He's not missing the cut. He's gonna be in deep contention,
that'd be really cool.
as he has been in the past 3 tournaments.
Huh?
Sort of.
Yeah, through like 30
Yeah.
holes or something. You make a
Through
good
well,
point.
through 4 holes at the PGA. Through 30-ish holes at W Fargo, and through 24 holes at the 30 holes at Colonial.
So if we put them all together, that's one tournament right there.
Yeah, that's 64 holes. He's just 8 holes away from winning a tournament
Okay, so we're
or being in deep contention, I guess.
so we're trending, is what you're saying.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
All right, understood.
So
Good point.
Yeah.
Oh, do we want to
I
get
believe.
into our triple double picks for this week?
Yes, I would.
yes.
Alrighty.
Um,
Would the leader like to go first, or should we start at the bottom of the barrel?
Sure. I'll go. I'm just gonna get the big names out of the way because that's kind of what I'm keeping with. I haven't used Hovland yet, so I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna use my Patrick Cantley just because he stinks, but he always plays well here, so I don't want to even have to use him again. And I'm gonna go Denny.
Nick
He played well here
Potts.
last year. He's been playing well. I like the pick. I don't really see where I'd use Denny again. I thought it was a no-brainer. This was a pretty easy week for me. I didn't really have any problem. These 3 were pretty standard. Because I have the Hovland and Denny uses, and Cantley won't be used again this year. So
You want to go down? Or do you want me to go?
I will go. I know I will go. I have my plays ready. Congrats to us. Very proud for getting our plays in on time this week.
Round of applause.
congrats to me for not missing the week.
I mean, you can afford to probably miss like 5 weeks. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I closed the gap by 600 or 700 the past 2 weeks, but
That helps.
any little bit helps. So I am
Yeah.
playing. I'm still down 3 million, but that is what
You're
it
in.
is.
You're within striking distance at 3 million.
Yes, I'm.
Correct.
All you need is Sepp Straka to pop this week, and it's a good week. He's been playing. He's been hitting the ball really nicely. And you never know. Gets hot with the putter, which he has done. You want to talk about popping? That's, I feel like, one of the classic pop guys on tour, but he's been approaching the greens very nicely recently. Matt Fitzpatrick, I'm going to use him again. I'm not really sure where else I'd use him. I guess maybe Pinehurst, but he hasn't played since the PGA. I just have this memory of him playing here in 2020, maybe, when it was really difficult, and having a good Sunday. I think his course history isn't great here, so I might actually change this, but I kind of like his style this week. And then Justin Thomas, it's been trending. Elise is on him this week. I feel like Elise is gonna hit a winner, so I'm gonna take at least one of her plays. But he's been playing some nice golf. He's got some good history here. If the wind's gonna blow, and we'll know pretty quickly if it's legit or not for him this week. Because when he's playing well in the wind, that's typically, he gets all the highlights because he can shape the ball really well. But it's also just means he's got great confidence and great control. New putter in the bag, didn't putt well in his last event, so hoping that leads to good things for sort of, for Mr. Thomas.
All said. Let me see who I'm going with. All right, I'm going with 3 guys that none of you have. So before we started recording, I was debating, do I give it my Scotty play? I'm gonna do it. I'm using my second Scotty use. Should have won here last year. Scotty speaks for himself. I'm going three, well, I guess two big dogs and then one guy that's, I guess, a medium-sized animal. So I'm going Scotty. I'm gonna go Hideki. Was gonna use Hideki at, was it the PGA? And there were some injury concerns coming
I
in,
like
I
that. It's a
think.
ball strikers golf course, so
Yeah, there's kind of a theme with my three picks, as you'll see with the next one. But Hideki, good short game. He's really only has 2 starts. He's got the Masters and the PGA. He hasn't played anything else, which is interesting. But I'll go Hideki. Then for my last pick, going one of Bob's guys' favorite players, Keegan Bradley.
ooh, yes.
Talked to Elise about him, or at least I mentioned him, and she's like, he's chalk, but that's a good pick. And yeah, he's been playing great golf. T21, T18, T2. Another just he flushes the golf ball. And yeah, I am, what am I? 7.9 something million down from Bob. Do not know if I'm going to be able to catch up, but if Scotty could hit, I cut the deficit in half. And the odds of him hitting are, what, 3-1 probably this week. And the reasoning behind using Scotty is we were looking at the purse for the US Open last year. Signature event's bigger. So I figured don't use him at the US Open, would never use him at the Open.
Strategy.
So it was either pretty much here or Travelers, and he'll probably win at Travelers too. But I mean, he should have won here last year going away.
Yeah, I mean, I only have 2 picks for the US Open because I've already locked in Mickelson.
That's well said.
So I don't so I only have 2 people to play with now. So I have to figure out who those 2 are. But Mickelson's been locked in for a long time.
He's trending.
It's possible it's his time. It's not likely, but it's possible.
He's trending.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play never mind. I forgot. I'll play somebody unique though. Maybe I'll play Spieth next week.
Yeah. Unfortunate, no Fran Quinn this year in the US Open. Yeah.
Maybe I'll play an Amateur
Final
next week.
qualifying didn't go his way. He's in the Senior Open though. He qualified for the Senior US Open at Newport. So
That's
congrats on that.
phenomenal.
Congrats. That is awesome.
Yes.
What's a Pinehurst course comp? Probably Congaree, right?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. There's really no course comparable greens wise.
Chambers, Whistling Straits.
Is there any like course on
I'd say
tour?
Augusta maybe.
Be interesting to see what the course comp people think.
I-
Because
It reminds me of Australian looking courses a little.
Yeah, yeah. It's very sandy greens, the turtleback surfaces. It's an interesting course.
so Congaree,
I'm looking for what'd you say?
Congaree is probably. I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably.
I don't know how Congaree's greens are actually designed, but by the way it looks, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, in the same part of the country too.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Stacks up.
Very interesting.
Well then, any other thoughts? Memorial related. No,
I
US
have-
Open next week, so a lot
Yeah.
of excitement around that. But
I have one. Bob, how does Spieth play this week? You be honest. It won't hurt any feelings.
I'm gonna say
might hurt mine, but that's okay.
he shoots a poopy first round, like 1 under, like plays really well and just poops
Gotcha.
himself.
Probably not a bad score. But understood.
I think he goes in the weekend pretty solid, like probably like T8 maybe.
Oh,
I think he finishes like T29.
Oh, that would not be good.
I think the weekend could be a rough showing for Mr. Speed.
But progress being T8.
That's
2
not
rounds.
progress. That's the
33
same.
Top 10
crap.
through 36 holes, trending.
No, not with a poopy weekend.
It would be a poopy weekend. I hope I'm wrong.
Now, if he's T10 and he didn't, just played average and finished T10, we'd take that.
Well, what
We
if
take-
he goes
we take-
T29 to T8?
Yes.
We'd take that as well. I mean, he's trending.
Yes. We're
I mean-
we're taking FedEx Cup points right now.
Yeah,
True. We need to, okay, so this is
We
the
have
funny
50
thing.
seconds.
If he's not in the top 50, he has to play his way into all of these big events next year. And like, who knows if that's gonna happen, right? Like there's a weird
He'd probably just skip out on him. He probably wouldn't.
yeah,
be
you could
ours.
probably, oh, qualifiers, those aren't for me. It's like
Yeah. Welcome to the Aeon first
Yeah,
10 or
first
whatever.
five,
yeah,
baby.
we'll go see you in Silvis. Like
We'll see you in the fall, Mr. Speed.
Heck yeah,
yeah, welcome back to Shriners, buddy.
exactly.
I mean,
You got
yeah.
2 kids. You want to play next year? You got to play in the fall.
yeah, and like P Cup, like that's coming up pretty
I'm
soon.
pretty sure
Like,
P Cup is.
Out of the
no, come
picture
on.
at the
He's
moment.
actually,
Yeah.
I did a little bit of math on this. He's okay, so he needs to play well, which obviously might take a little bit, but he's basically
live guys helps.
he's basically a top he's like a top 5 and another top 10 from being like 13th in the President's Cup.
I wouldn't take him.
And then at that point I think there's a decent shot that he gets on.
He needs
But
to
like,
do what again?
who do you take? Who do you take between like who would I? Who's in that 12 to 13 range right now?
Well, he's 25th right now. So obviously he needs to play like good golf. But the gap between 25 and 12 isn't actually like that far.
Yeah.
Who's at
um,
12? Just because I'm
But also like
curious.
Thomas is at 15 or 16. So there's kind of some weird
I'm sure he'll get the call.
I'll get the
Yeah, but he's
call.
also been playing better.
True, but he should have
He's got a
never been on
couple
the team in
greens on
Rome.
his data golf page in a row, which cannot be said about one Spieth J.
Well, yeah, but there's always favoritism showed towards, a player like him, as we saw at Rome, when he
Thomas.
shouldn't have been on that team. But of course he got
Well,
on.
I don't. Yeah, probably, but he wasn't like that bad. Who was the worst player on that U.S. team
I mean, Spieth played very poorly, but Spieth should have made that team.
until Sunday?
Yeah, or of course Lowry careered, but that's besides the point.
Lowry
Oh my god.
Lowry saw the beer at the end of the round and played I don't know, played fantastic.
Lowry's beer showed as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he was
almost
showing
played
off his
Lowry
body,
this
that's
week.
for sure. Lowry was actually ranked pretty high in the model. He was
Good
13th.
course fit.
13th, yeah. It is good
Playing
course
well.
fit.
The problem is his numbers don't look great because he's just been putting the shit out of the ball.
It's actually Elise is on Sahith, isn't she?
Yeah.
My model doesn't like Sahith. It'll be interesting to see. She's the brains, obviously, but it'll be interesting to see how he plays.
Yeah. I think she's also who else? Morikawa. It's on her
Yeah, that
card.
makes sense. I mean, I can't
Cam
really
Young
realize that.
and Kitayama.
Where was Kitayama on the model? He was 40th, but I looked at him for a second.
I mean, at
I was like,
100, it's decent.
Yeah, as a long
odds.
shot play. Yeah.
He's
No,
won a big event before.
yeah. He's a popper from time to time too.
He is. He's got that ability.
Yeah, T4 at the PGA last year, T8 in the Phoenix. Like he'll have these off weeks.
Yeah. Well, late early for Mr. Spieth along with Alpha Harmon. That's fun.
Well said.
Should be should be featured back half of day 1, all of Friday. So that's also fun. If you like watching Jay Spieth play golf.
Oh, wait, is it morning Friday? I haven't even looked.
Yeah, it's 10 something on Friday. Early 10s. Be
Right.
chilling, dammering on the ground, some Cornwell and Parks in your ear. I mean, what could be better? Cup of black coffee and some.
Well, I would say that the French Open would be better, but you never know. I
Oh.
might get Noah Eagle on the French
Oh.
Open coverage, and
My goodness.
The McEnroes don't do the French, do they?
well, McEnroe does NBC,
Yeah.
but NBC only comes on for the last 2 rounds, so we might get
so
some
stupid,
McEnroe.
man. That's stupid.
McEnroe does ESPN and NBC. He does all the majors. I don't know how that works contractually, but
you imagine if
somehow
Bono did
John
all of them?
McEnroe always finds his way on the coverage. So
And the fans will not be complaining about that.
absolutely not. The fans will be in jubilation.
Speaking of, do we speaking of majors, next week, who's with Dan Hicks?
I think it's Brandel.
That's right.
That's Brandon.
Forgot about that. That's crazy that they don't have somebody like locked into that by now.
Well, because Kisner still
Um,
wants to play.
But I guess, yeah, well, Kisner. And I guess
On the
Phil is
comeback
gone.
I
Like,
don't
why
think
don't
they were.
they? I know
Oh,
Faldo hung it up. Well, no, he couldn't leave CBS for NBC.
if the money's
But
right, he would.
yeah, but then
Yeah.
why would you quit CBS? I don't know. Do you think they booted him out of CBS? I kind of doubt it.
I mean, he said he retired, but maybe they wanted to get younger to reach like a younger audience. I don't know.
Who knows? Not my problems. As
It's
long
not
as
your
maybe
problems.
they'll give Doug Smith Louisville a call.
Thanks for that.
I'd appreciate that.
Is Brandon going to do live from and be in the booth?
That'd be
That's sick.
That's a lot of hours.
I mean, alpha males will not be complaining. That's all I'm saying.
no, absolutely not. But
That is a
holy
lot.
moly, that's a lot of hours.
If anyone can do it, it's tough. It's tough being successful like that at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
that's very true. He loves talking golf too. So
I mean, just
He does.
yeah, no, exactly. So, all right. Well, hopefully Jay Speech doesn't tug every iron he looks at this week, which I don't think he will.
speaking, one more thing, because you mentioned tugging irons. He had a little training aid that got photographed today. It's like a little orange rope around his wrist, not the left wrist, so it's not like an injury thing.
I appreciate it.
Could
It
you
was
put it on your Instagram?
I didn't, but I can put it in our group chat. Maybe
Ah.
one of you guys know what it is. If it would load real quick, but it looked
Sure.
interesting.
Word.
Well,
I will
there we
take a
go.
peek. Not that I know training aids very well.
No, but it's definitely interesting. He's working on something, which is obviously good to see.
I mean, I appreciate it for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I enjoy the attempt, but it hasn't popped up on my thing.
Yeah, it's
Where'd you drop it?
taking a minute. I'm putting it in the group
Yeah.
chat right now. It took me a second to get it. My computer's going slow.
Gotcha.
But I'm gonna throw it in there. Right?
This will
come
be
on, man.
interesting. I'm curious. Right wrist orange rope.
Yes. Well, it's literally what it is. And I'm sorry for the wait time to our viewers, but I'm hoping maybe Bob or Dan could, give us some insight on what he's doing or what this thing is.
I am actually pretty in tune with training aids.
Yeah, I'm freaking computer.
Don't ask me about a club.
Yeah, it is
I
not
know
a
s-
club.
Unknowledgeable person that knows as much golf as I do when it comes to clubs. Like, I have no clue about club technology or anything like that.
Alrighty,
but
I've sent it, so it should be able to be viewable.
Great.
There it is. Oh. Hello.
I've seen it. I've seen variations of it. I've never seen like the rope, but I've seen it's like it's more like a strap and then a metal rod that I've seen.
Gotcha. Maybe it's only a part of it on. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
For
the
those
same.
that are on YouTube, there's just an orange rope that's like hanging down from his forearm, kind of extended, parallel to the golf club. I mean, maybe the rope like falls in a certain spot if the swing gets off plane or it tugs
sounds
in
about
some
right.
way.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I'll
don't
have to
know.
throw it on my Instagram story once we get off here. Maybe someone can fill us in. Someone's got to know what it does or have.
Interesting. Or maybe it's a new forearm injury.
God, well, geez, man. No tape on that left wrist from
Yeah,
the
that's
photos
good.
that I can see, which is good.
Good. Good looking
Bone and-
hat too. By
Yeah,
the
good
way.
looking hat, all black from Mr. Speed today. It's probably only like 90 degrees in Dublin, but we can get a
Yeah.
good sweat in.
It was the funeral of the Brange balls because he probably hit 400 of them. But
Hey, we appreciate the grind.
yeah, he's trending.
Results will
I
be
promise.
well, let's not get crazy with it.
Big trust.
Not a lot of trust. But,
Yes. Well, we'll see you on Sunday for the winners recap pod. And
Sure.
we'll go from there. US
Sure.
Open coming up. Big 3-week stretch. Big events, all three of them. So excited to
we have
kinda get
three, and then
into
we
it
head over the
again.
pond, right?
Very true. Season's kind of wrapping up. There's only about
If
3
if
stretches
Spieth makes
left.
the trip, you never know.
True.
I'd cry if he did not make the trip. Man.
Nah, he'll make the trip.
We love
Give
coffee
me
golf.
diapers.
Yes.
Yes. All right. We will see you next week. I will be yeah, we'll have to do it Wednesday night.
Boots
when
on the
I'm
ground.
there. Yeah, boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace.